August 2025 will be remembered as a month that refused to slow down. Just when we thought we understood the political climate, new events erupted, reshaping conversations from local town halls all the way to the global stage. It felt like every single day brought a fresh headline, a new controversy, a significant decision that demanded our attention. From the White House courtrooms in the Deep South across international borders, the events of this past month have set the stage for what is sure to be a turbulent autumn. The sheer volume of news was overwhelming at times, making it difficult to keep track of every development. But looking back, we can see clear patterns emerging. The political bombshells of August were not isolated incidents. Instead, they were interconnected threads in a much larger story about power identity, the future direction of nations. President Trump's words and actions sent ripples across North America and beyond, sparking both praise and intense criticism. At the same time, critical legal battles unfolded within the United States, raising fundamental questions about fairness and representation in our democracy. These events did not happen in a vacuum. They influenced one another, creating a complex and often volatile environment. Understanding this month requires us to look at the full picture, connecting the dots between seemingly separate news stories. This month served as a stark reminder that politics is not just something that happens in Washington, D.C., it affects our daily lives in profound ways. The debates over public health measures the struggles for recognition by indigenous communities, the environmental crises unfolding on the West Coast are all deeply political issues. They touch on our values, our safety, our sense of community. The events of August have shown us once again that the decisions made by leaders and judges have real-world consequences for all of us, whether we are paying close attention or not. It's a landscape that demands our engagement. As we unpack the major events, it is important to approach them with a clear and steady perspective. The goal is not to tell you what to think, but to present the facts as we know them, so you can form your own informed opinions. By breaking down the key moments of August 2025, we can gain a better understanding of where we stand today and what might be coming next. President Trump once again found himself at the center of a major controversy this month, this time involving comments about religion. During a rally, he made statements suggesting that a person's faith was a key indicator of patriotism, moral character, which quickly drew widespread reaction. Interpreted by many as an attempt to energize his religious base, they also sparked a fierce backlash from various faith leaders, secular groups, who argued that such rhetoric was divisive and exclusionary. The comments dominated news cycles for days, forcing many political figures to take a public stance on the president's words and their implications for a pluralistic society. The fallout extended beyond the United States border, creating a notable diplomatic stir with Canada. Canadian officials expressed concern, some politicians describing them as contrary to the values of inclusivity, religious freedom. The situation highlighted the delicate nature of the United States-Canada relationship, which has seen its share of tensions in recent years. This incident served as another example of how the president's domestic messaging can have significant international consequences, complicating diplomatic efforts, creating friction with even the closest of allies. Beyond the controversy, President Trump's international agenda was also in full swing. He held a series of high-profile meetings with several world leaders focusing on trade agreements, global security. These summits were carefully orchestrated events designed to project an image of strong leadership on the world stage. Adding a different flavor to his international activities, the president also took a well-publicized trip to one of his golf courses in Scotland. Officially described as a working vacation, the trip drew criticism from opponents who questioned the use of taxpayer resources. Personal business interests became another talking point in the ongoing debate about the president's leadership style and the norms of the office. Back at home, the political landscape was just as heated, particularly around the issue of face masks. What began as a public health recommendation during the pandemic has evolved into a deeply political symbol. In August, several communities saw renewed debates over mask mandates in schools, mask mandates in public spaces. These discussions were often contentious, pitting personal freedom against collective responsibility. The issue has become a clear dividing line, with political affiliation often being a strong predictor of an individual's stance on masks. This debate shows how a simple piece of cloth can become a flashpoint for much larger cultural and political disagreements. Simultaneously, significant legal battles were unfolding in the southern United States. Federal courts in Alabama issued landmark decisions regarding their state's voting maps. Federal courts in Texas issued landmark decisions regarding their state's voting maps. The courts ruled that the existing congressional districts were drawn in a way that unfairly diluted the voting power of minority communities, a practice known as gerrymandering. In simple terms, the judges found that the maps were designed to make it harder for certain groups to elect the candidates of their choice. The rulings have ordered state legislatures to go back to the drawing board and create new, more equitable maps. The impact of these court orders cannot be overstated. They have the potential to fundamentally reshape the political landscape in both Alabama and Texas ahead of the next election cycle. By requiring new maps, these decisions could lead to more competitive elections and a congressional delegation that more accurately reflects the demographic makeup of the states. However, the fight is likely far from over. These rulings are expected to be appealed, possibly all the way to the Supreme Court, setting the stage for a prolonged legal and political struggle over the future of voting rights and representation in America. In a related development, Texas Democrats continued their efforts to push for federal voting rights legislation, arguing that state-level actions were making it harder for people to vote. This advocacy took place as changes were also being implemented at the Internal Revenue Service. The agency received a significant budget increase aimed at improving its technology and enforcement capabilities, particularly concerning high-income earners. While the administration framed this as a move to ensure tax fairness, it was met with criticism from opponents who raised concerns about potential overreach and the targeting of political adversaries, adding another layer of political tension to the domestic scene. Thousands of miles away from Washington, a significant development offered a glimmer of hope in Southeast Asia. The military government in Myanmar announced the end of its long-standing state of emergency. That emergency had been in place since the military seized power, suppressing dissent. It had also postponed any return to democratic rule. Lifting it is a prerequisite for holding new elections. The military promised elections, but has been slow to fulfill that promise. The international community is now watching closely. People will be looking to see if this leads to a free and fair electoral process. The end of the state of emergency could be critically important for the people in the region. For years, the country has been mired in civil unrest and conflict following the takeover. The move could signal a de-escalation of the military's hardline stance, and potentially open the door for dialogue with opposition groups. However, skepticism remains high. Many observers worry it could be a strategic maneuver to ease international pressure. The nation's democratic aspirations hang in the balance. Closer to home, a long and arduous struggle for justice continued for the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. This month, tribal leaders and advocates made another concerted push in Washington for full federal recognition. For over a century, the Lumbee have sought legal status to gain access to federal funding for healthcare, housing, and education. Their fight is a powerful story of perseverance as they navigate the federal bureaucracy. The Lumbee tribe's quest highlights unresolved historical injustices faced by indigenous communities. Despite being the largest tribe east of the Mississippi River, they exist in a sort of legal limbo. They are recognized by the state but not fully by the federal government. Their renewed effort in August brought their story back into the national spotlight. Their struggle underscores ongoing challenges in asserting sovereignty and securing rights and resources. Their persistence is a testament to resilience and determination to see justice done. The list of major events in August did not end there. On the West Coast, California was once again battling devastating wildfires. Fueled by dry conditions and high winds, the fires consumed vast areas of land, destroyed homes, and forced thousands of people to evacuate. These fires are becoming an almost annual crisis, raising urgent questions about climate change, forest management, long-term sustainability of communities in fire-prone regions. The dramatic images of smoky skies, glowing orange horizons served as a powerful and tragic reminder of the growing environmental challenges we face. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, political drama was unfolding in Pennsylvania. The state government was locked in a tense battle over its annual budget. Disagreements between the governor and the legislature led to a protracted stalemate, threatening funding for schools' infrastructure projects, essential public services. This kind of political gridlock is not uncommon, but it highlights the deep partisan divides that can paralyze government and directly impact citizens' lives. The budget impasse in Pennsylvania was a microcosm of the broader political polarization affecting state capitals across the nation. The already complicated relationship between the United States and Canada also faced new strains. Beyond the diplomatic friction over President Trump's comments, ongoing disputes over trade policies, cross-border environmental issues continued to simmer. These tensions, though often managed through quiet diplomacy, underscore the complexities of maintaining a smooth partnership between two closely linked but distinct nations. The events of August served as a reminder that even our strongest alliances require constant attention and effort to navigate disagreements and find common ground for the benefit of both countries. All of these events, from international controversies to local court battles, underscore a simple but vital truth. Staying informed is more important than ever. In a world of constant change and competing narratives, being aware of the facts is the first step toward meaningful participation. It allows us to hold our leaders accountable, understand the forces shaping our world, and make decisions that align with our values. The news can be overwhelming, but turning away is not an option. An informed public is the bedrock of a healthy democracy, and the events of this unforgettable August have made that clearer than ever. It is about being an active participant in our democracy, not just a passive observer. By breaking down the key moments of August 2025, we can gain a better understanding of where we stand today and what might be coming next.